way before the Renaissance. One of the first places I ever worked was a place called the Bistro, charming little club. I was thrilled to have the job, and the owner was trying to be fair, so I had top billing, but he wanted to be fair, so he put Kay Carroll, who had been ventriloquist, he put her on the other side. So when I came to work from my direction, I had top billing, and when she came to work from her direction, she could say you're top billing, and then we had a great time. We had it was just a crazy club, That was my first job in Atlantic City, and he used to line people up. He used to keep the door closed in an empty club and make people line up on the sidewalk, so it looked like we were doing business. So it was a lot of fun, a great way to learn the nightclub business. I had some friends come in to see the show, and back then there was a comedian named Bernie Allen who said it's just bizarre, these memories. Bernie Allen, who dressed up as a German Luftwaffe pilot, and that was his act. So he was dressed that way, and he carried a bomb. I mean, can you imagine this today?
Wow, no.
He carried a big, huge bomb, and he did his act from there. And he would say, "Oh, I get that," whatever he'd say. I can't repeat on the radio, but some friends of mine came in before the show, and they said to the waitress, "Do you have Clams Casino here?" And she said, "No, we have Jack Jones and Bernie Allen." So that's one memory, and then playing the Steel Pier. I think I did that before that, and we used to do 5 shows a day. No, 7 shows a day, and
wow.
Short ones, but 7 shows a day, and we'd sit in the little dressing room that was kind of built out over the ocean, and we could hear that diving horse every hour hitting the water. It was a lot of fun.
Right.
Those days were fun.
Do you miss that sort of nightclub era?
No, I don't miss that. There was a nightclub thing now, like Feinstein's in New York was which I played last, was a wonderful experience. It's done right, and it's classy and it's fun. And then we're going to do it some more. And it looks like I'm going to the Carlisle in New York. Other than that, I do theaters and casinos,
And tell me about your current set. Now, do you do the Love Boat theme at all, even as like a little snippet, or is that not part of your show?
Well, we do the whole thing and have make a little fun of it, but people like it, and we do it now. It's kind of evolved into a reggae, and rather than the way it was on the television show, I guess we did that out of boredom or something. But actually, I'm never bored with the song. It's a lot of fun, especially now. My drummer's really good at making it feel good.
Mm-hmm. So now will you be doing some of your big hits like Wives and Lovers? You're doing more standards for this show? What are you playing, performing?
I do. It's built for romantic, emotional drama, and it's not about just rattling off the hits. I do a couple of them that people want to hear, the Grammys, which is Lollipops and Roses and Wives and Lovers, but I do a medley of Gershwin and I do Music of the Night. I do Imagine, and From a Distance. I put those 2 songs together. I do a special lyric I wrote to Mac the Knife about Ella Fitzgerald. It's the story of her life. Things like that are interesting. I was on the road for quite a while in Man of La Mancha a few years ago. So I do a little vignette from that. So it runs the gamut. It runs from pop to jazz to Broadway.
Now, when the Love Boat show came out, it was so popular. Did that change your career at all?
The Love Boat show revitalized not only me but the entire ship business, and which I would never. Before that, I would never work on shifts because it just was not a good place to be. But then they started offering us top money and great perks, wonderful suites, and it was a great time all of a sudden. And that went on for quite a long time until they built so many shifts and got really fat, and they didn't need that anymore, so they stopped paying the higher money.
Right.
It's called American greed. And it was a lot of fun. It was great for everybody. And there was a whole generation that watched the Love Boat show that maybe had missed me, some of them, and then they picked up on me. Then I wrote one of the stories on one of the shows, as well as singing every week on it. I wrote a story. And it was
right. And you appeared as an actor on it, right?
It was a Christmas thing.
Uh-huh.
I wrote this. It was a true story that I knew about.
And you have kind of come from a showbiz family, right? Both your parents were performers.
I just wanted to sing and act. That's all I wanted to do. And in retrospect, now that I've gotten into what we are, what is afforded to us now as laymen in this technical world, I know that if I had had a taste of it back then, I mean, I might have wanted to be a film editor. I mean, it's just a great way to create. It's wonderful. It's paint pictures that way. But no, I've just been a creative person and love to sing. I've been very blessed with a voice that is not going downhill yet, and my range is better than it was. The timbre has changed a bit, but I kind of like it because it sounds lived in. Well, back in the Flower Child time, when the music was all about peace and love and getting stoned, a lot of us didn't know what to do. I just kept singing, and I made an album called Jack Jones Live at the Sands in Vegas at that time, and I was doing songs that were the best songs that I could choose, that I could adapt to, and I even did Spinning Wheel, and it's a good record. And you wouldn't think that, but I've been more of a jazzer, and when I was young and had hit records, I was being held back, rightly so, because he kept saying, "Don't deviate from the melody, or you're not going to have a hit." But anyway, but back when I was starting, I mean, that was unheard of, and only people that did rhythm and blues records and things like that, they are the ones that would deviate and sing around the melody. The music coming from the black community was so wonderful, and still is. And matter of fact, Stevie Wonder was a little boy in near Atlantic City. I was driving along listening to him somewhere, and he was just a little boy, and I said, "Wow, that guy can sing."
Yeah.
And a lot of us guys couldn't sing that well.
Right.
Without adapting those idiosyncrasies.
Mm-hmm. And you had mentioned earlier in this call about adapting Mac the Knife to be about Ella Fitzgerald.
And the thing I wrote, she that was one of her big standouts. It was a song that was a live record, and it was so amazing, and and her scatting and all that stuff was so great. So I wrote the song, this lyric to that song, and it's the story of her life. It starts off, "One fine morning in Virginia, Newport News to be exact." And it goes through her life.
And were there male singers who influenced you?
Yeah, of course Sinatra, because I was in high school, and that's all I listened to when I came home from school was his, and he just started his renaissance, and the songs for swinging lovers and stuff like that. I could and the ballads. Only the Lonely was probably the best ballad album still ever made, and so I was very much affected by that, and Mel Torme and Peggy Lee, and they all became my friends.
And now, the last thing I wanted to ask you about is your acting. You've done quite a bit of it, theater and on screen. So, is that something that comes easily to you, the way singing, or is it something you have to work at to sort of portray somebody else?
It comes easily to me now. But when I was younger, I studied acting before I ever got out there as a professional singer. A lot of people came as guests, speakers, lecturers. Sidney Poitier, who once again became a friend of mine later. People like that who would come and talk to us about acting. It was very, very. It was kind of a West Coast poor man's actor studio, but we were studying the method. I'm signed a confidentiality clause, so I can't. I'm about to shoot a segment in a movie, and the movie, when it comes out, will be seen. But that's so it'd be a good thing. And I'm not acting in it, but it's a very important scene. I'm singing, and there's a scene going on while I'm singing, but the lyrics are very important to the.
But you can't say anything about it. Sounds like.
No.
Okay. Well, we'll have to look for that.
Until they're ready to do their campaign.
Okay, Jack. Well, I think that's everything on my list of questions. So thanks so much for taking a little time out to chat with us. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry that I thought you were Ed Hurst, but Ed is he must be in his 90s now.
Yeah, I think he's getting up there. No, it's no problem. Nothing wrong with being confused with Ed Hurst.